Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nhlalala, but everyone calls me Lala, so you can too. On Instagram, I put up a question sticker for you guys to just share a few questions, just so the oldies, we can catch up, the newbies, we can get to know each other. There are a few questions for me to answer, so let me know waste your time. Let's get into it. Also, if there's noise in the background, I'm so sorry. One of the units are renovating and these gents don't know how to keep quiet. First question is from Samu. She asked, how does it feel to be back? We missed you. I missed y'all too. I missed the tube. I really am a long form girly. Like, I do love short form, reels, TikTok, but I won't lie, long format is for me. I love conversations. I love having the time to show who I am. I feel like even in person, most of my connections has come from interaction that allowed us to have a conversation and to chat. And so I feel like that's where I'm able to just like lay my guard down a bit instead of feeling like I gotta get it all out, like the elevator pitch vibe. As much as I need to learn that skill, it doesn't come naturally to me. I'm very much a let's sit down and chat kind of girl. So yeah, I'm excited to be back. It feels really good. It feels a bit nerve-wracking. It's so crazy. I was watching some of my old videos, and when I watched myself, I was like, wow, girl, this was natural to you. And now I'm like having to do take after take after take. So it's definitely gonna be a journey of growing and like regaining that confidence. But I'm really excited to be back. Monox and Yogi asked, where have I been? So Yogi in specifics, like, where you been? We've missed you. And then Monox asked, what have you been doing in the 5 years of no YouTube? How's life been? So I feel like there's similar, so I'm just gonna group them together. To be honest, I feel like I went into that space of forget the passion, forget the hustle, just do your adulting thing. When I first left varsity, I did try YouTube, and that's when I was consistent. That's when I was pushing. It was kind of like end of varsity, moving out of varsity. And the beauty about varsity is that if you are privileged enough, your varsity is paid for, you have accommodation that's paid for, you maybe have a car, which I was blessed to have. The only thing I was really paying for is groceries and petrol, you know? But other than that, like, life was sorted. So there was this freedom and ability to just create and push all these passions. But as soon as I left varsity, it was very much a thing of, cool, passion is lovely, but you kind of have to be paid. Like in varsity, you didn't have anything to take care of, so you could just go for your passion. Whereas after varsity, it was a little bit difficult. You know, like your parents obviously and naturally have that expectation of you to start taking on costs of your own and start building a life for yourself. And it's difficult to do that through content. And obviously it's very much possible, but it is difficult. And so I moved into that space of, let me just focus on making sure that I can get money, pay bills, relieve pressure of my parents. And I feel like once you get into the work world, especially if you're in corporate, it's very easy to just fall into this trap of wake up, go to work, come back, cook, watch something, sleep, wake up, and that's what I feel like I went through. And not to say that it's been bad, because I've enjoyed the work that I do, but I have felt that I went into a space of fully committing my time to my job or, you know, the brands or whatever work I was in. And when it came to creating for me, it just felt like a lot of work, but then also the more time went, it just felt so foreign and so detached from who I was, where I was like, I don't even know what I would create. I don't know who I am anymore, like in the space of creation and like the arts. And so, yeah, I kind of just let it be. I kind of just fell into that trap of just do what you gotta do, wake up, get up, go. But yeah, it's just very disconnected from the creating side of me because I was just trying to be an adult. But life's been good. I've been growing. Yeah, I've really been growing, and I feel like I'm in a very healthy space now, which is also why I've explored getting back into creation again and like just looking it in the face and being like, we're gonna do this again, I'm gonna conquer you. So yeah, that's in a nutshell where I've been and what I've been up to. Tracy asked, how do you stay consistent when it comes to your relationship with God? So for those of you guys who don't know, I am a PK. Well, my mom only got ordained like 2013, 15, somewhere around there. But she's always been someone who was heavily involved in the church. We're definitely one of those families where church was very much a part of our lives. Like you're there the whole week, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday for the different meetings that would happen, which obviously comes with its own things where you feel almost this pressure to be the same as your parents and like walk in this way and like be perfect, which is difficult to navigate, especially like more so into your teen and young adult years where you're like trying to be your own person, but you kind of held to the standard. So there is that tension. But for the most part, it was beautiful. And I feel like that foundation is what has allowed my Christian walk to be what it is now. Of course, that comes with seasons of being not so close to God and being distant to God. That changed for me 2022. Last year was 2023. 2022, got baptized. It is your external declaration that you are walking with God and you are committed to a life with God. And so for me, it was also just that thing of what is this relationship with God to you? It has to become personal at some point. You know, your mother's salvation, your father's salvation, your whoever's salvation is not your salvation. You need to walk with God for yourself. And so 2022 was really a turning point in that sense, because also from there, I just started taking my holistic Christian journey more seriously. So not only my personal relationship with God and like devotion, trying to, you know, read through the Bible front to back, that type of thing, but also community, because relationship is such a big part of the Christian faith. It's something that God uses to sharpen us and grow us. And so community has been a big part as well of now that transition from 2022 of being more consistent with God. The beautiful thing about community is not only that you have people to hold space for you and to be there for you, to pray for you, to encourage you, but you also have people to hold you accountable. You also have people who are sharpening you and challenging you and ensuring that you're not staying the same. And we do that for each other, you know? That's the beauty of the body of Christ. And so for me, I feel like that's what's allowed my Christian walk to be stronger since then. Obviously, we're always a work in progress, but doing things in isolation is never going to be good for you. You need to have people who you can share with, and it doesn't mean it's everyone. Like, as much as I have community, there are still within the community smaller groups of people, or individuals rather, who I share more with, who I can be more vulnerable with. And so in the space of community, that comes from serving, because I volunteer in the production team, and also through things like Life Group, Connect, we call it Connect, but other churches call it Home Cell, Life Group, etc. Community has been a big part of my consistency with God in this new phase of my life. Then Lifika asked, what do you do for a living? Just for background, I study fashion media, basically just covering all expressions of media from writing, styling, photography, marketing, etc. Marketing is what I took a focus in just because it was easier to get work in the general marketing space. I started in more traditional marketing and then have now moved into more of a focus on digital/social. Yeah, love it. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I'm also just watching the sun that's just going. That's what I'm trying to just like. So Tembi asked, how are these 20-somethings treating you? And Kopi asked something similar, but she said, adulting is the absolute ghetto. Yes. Okay, yes. But what's one thing you love about it? 20-somethings are treating me well. I think it's been very challenging. A lot of people speak about how like your 20-somethings are bound to be tumultuous, like because you're in the space of discovering and unearthing who you are, and then your 30s become more like you're more sure and aware of yourself in your 30s. And I feel like that's been so true. Like, obviously I'm on my 30s, so I don't know about that side yet, but the 20s have been very much like, but it's been beautiful because there's been a lot of growth. And it's also beautiful to see how God always works things for your good. Like, you'll think something is so horrible in a moment, and then like now I look back and I'm like, damn, you know. And also just like friendships that come in and out, and how like you serve each other differently in different seasons. Like, it's just such a beautiful thing to look back and reflect and actually appreciate the sovereignty of God. 20-somethings have been good. They've been challenging, but challenging is good. We're building character here. And to Kopi's point, my favorite thing probably will just be like independence. I've always been someone who's very dependent on people around me. Even when it comes to like starting my own business, I'm like, who can I start it with? Instead of me just doing it on my own. And that's why I think I appreciated my YouTube journey, because it was something that I did on my own. Like, I recorded on my own, edited on my own, ideated on my own, whatever the case is. But I've always been someone who's like, I need help to do it with someone. But I really appreciated that adulting has allowed me to just do me. Of course, I get counsel from my parents, like, you know, about new jobs, new this, new that. But for the most part, it very much is this thing of like, what do you want to do? Do you think it's going to work? Yeah, taking ownership of my life. I think that's a way to sum up what my favorite thing about adulting is. Gwen just had a compliment. She's like, nothing to say. I just really like your pure and wholesome energy. So make me blush, girl. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think that's always the aim, you know. You hope that, one, that you're a decent person, you know, always striving for that, always working at that, but two, that it gets felt and it gets experienced by the people around you. So I'm very happy to hear that, and I hope you're doing good, girl. It's been a minute. My one day asked, how's this channel going to be different from your first, and what lessons did you learn from your break? So I think I've kind of touched on it a bit, but one of the main things I learned in my break is just the whole ownership thing. My life is not going to change no matter how much I pray about it or ask God for direction. My life will not change until I step out in faith. And this is what this channel is just taking ownership to be like, this is what I believe is part of me and part of like the gifts God have given me, like to create content, to connect with people through my content. I have to step out in faith and try again and hope that it's received well, hope that it reaches who it needs to reach. Basically just do my part and allow God to do the rest. I'm hoping just to be more intentional about my content. I'm hoping to share more of God in my content. I don't want to get into a space where I'm super reliant on myself and my skills and what I think I bring to the table, but to really use the platform as a ministry in a sense that God can use to speak through me. And that doesn't always look like pulpit at church or whatever the case is. It really is just you using your God-given talents, which I believe content creation is, to show His glory. So that's what I am hoping will be my focus, is just allowing God to speak in every type and form and format of content that, you know, I decide to move forward with. Someone asked, what can we look forward to? Chatted a bit about it in my intro video, so you can go watch that. You know, give it a little bump in the views. Definitely conversational type of content, whether that's solo or in a podcast form. Vlogs as well. I've always loved vlogs. I'd love to get back into vlogging. And then of course just those little niches that I love. Like I love DIYing, and it's been a minute since I've DIYed, so I feel like having that pressure to create content around it will allow me to get back into it, you know? So DIYing, a bit of makeup, hair journey. That's why I say it's a visual diary. I feel like I don't want to limit myself to a specific type of content when I know that all these things make up who I am and what I want to show, because God can show up in all those different things, you know? Tracy asked, what advice would you give your younger self? One, as I mentioned, having more confidence in who God created me to be instead of relying on like people to help me make things happen. Letting go of that dependence on people and stepping out on my own. But again, it all works together for the good. Also, I think I would just remind my young self to keep God as the focus, honestly, because even in the times I've been distant from God, I've seen His hand on me. Madupe asked, tips for getting back into content. Girl, I wish I could tell you. This is me just trying. This is me trying to get back in, but I do not know. But hopefully I can share soon. And lastly, Isaac, tell me what you think about my TikTok videos, honest opinion. Honestly, I've always thought you were so funny. Even if I just watch your stories. I didn't actually think to check you on TikTok, but your Instagram stories always make me laugh. Like, they're hilarious. I don't know what sense of humor it is, but it's very unique and it's real, it's relatable. You're good at storytelling, at, you know, obviously capturing the content as well so that it tells a story, not only how you script it, so to speak. So I think your content's really great. The only thing is the content of your content is not necessarily for me, or it's not always for me. Like I wouldn't be someone who would always continue content just because of the nature of it. I don't know if it's if vulgar is the right word, because I'm really not it's not a negative thing, it's just not for me always. Kind of like the beep and gigs guys, where I love some of their content and I don't like some of their content because some of it is a bit vulgar, it's a bit not for me, you know. But they're great, they're funny, they're really relatable, and that's the same for you. I feel like you're so funny, so relatable, great at storytelling. Just some of it is out of touch for me. That is it. The sun is setting really fast, but I really hope you guys enjoyed getting to know me a little bit. I hope I wasn't talking too fast because I feel like I was. As I was watching the sun, I was just like so glad you guys joined, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to share it with a friend or a cousin or a whoever. Also comments what was interesting for you, or what did you not expect to hear from me, or if you have another question you can drop it down as well and I'll definitely answer it for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. I'm gonna be that YouTube girly. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, love you lots. God bless. Bye.